personal, intelligent, and connected. Technology enables us to meet customers on their terms, understand their needs, and create experiences that matter. This vision reminds us that marketing is no longer just a function of outreach, but meaningful dialogue fueled by data and driven by empathy to create authentic connections that inspire and engage. I stand before you today with a deep reverence for the evolving landscape of marketing, a space where technology, insight, and personalization reinvent how brands connect with their audience. Eminent speakers, respected faculty members, and my dear friends, I, Suresh Kuching,
and I, Smriti Ghosh, extend a very warm welcome to one and all. Today, as we gather under the theme Digitizing Growth, the technology-driven renaissance in marketing, we explore how technology empowers us to go beyond traditional boundaries, meeting consumers where they are and anticipating where they will be. It's a journey of turning data into insight, insight into action, and action into growth that is both sustainable and scalable.
On this note, we are honored to welcome you all to MAXIM's annual marketing conference, MERCATIQUE 2024. We are thrilled to welcome our first speaker of this day, Mr. Bhubaneswar, the Associate Director of Subscriptions, Consumer Training at XIM. His expertise in digital subscriptions and consumer engagement will set the tone for an insightful discussion.
Next, we have Mr. Pradyumna Kasari, Marketing and Growth Strategy Expert at XIM, whose insights into growth-driven marketing will be invaluable.
Our third speaker is Mr. Sapanya Misra, Senior Director at Blueprint, who brings a wealth of knowledge in media strategy and digital marketing.
Our fourth speaker, we are excited to hear from Mr. Gaurav Ghosh, Community and Monetization Growth Manager at Snap Inc., whose expertise in digital growth will provide unique insights. Finally, I would like to welcome our beloved Marketing Area Chair, Professor Krishna Dasgupta, as our moderator for the conclave.
With such an exceptional lineup, we look forward to gaining perspectives that will not only enlighten us but also empower us as future leaders in the field of marketing.
We begin our conclave with a traditional lamp lighting ceremony. It represents the illumination of our minds and hearts as we embark on a journey of learning and discovery. We invite our esteemed speakers to join us in making the start of marketing. MERCATIQUE 2024 with a light lightning that signifies new beginning, bright ideas, and the transformative power of insights.
May this light guide us through a day of inspiring conversations and meaningful exchanges.
Now, we would like to play the official video of MERCATIQUE 2024.
Nothing without values. testing ground on students, and what is the solution? Where do we fit in the middle?
Mr. Arpit Gupta is a proud alumnus of XIM and one of the industry's most accomplished marketers, with over 14 years of experience across a diverse range of companies. He currently holds the prestigious position of Associate Director of Subscriptions Consumer Trade at JioSaavn, specializing in subscription marketing. Previously, he served as a growth lead and AGM, subscription marketing at HT Digital Streams and senior manager, subscriber marketing at Tata Sky Limited. Currently at JioSaavn, he is responsible for driving growth in the music subscription business, utilizing market, CRM, GTM, and P&L strategies. He also oversees go-to-market strategies for new product features and app enhancements, managing subscriber lifecycle and revenue growth. With extensive experience across online media, OTT, entertainment, telecom, market research, and financial services, he is a passionate, results-oriented leader in subscription growth and retention. Sir, over to you now.
Am I audible? So, thanks everyone. And first of all, I would like to say that I'm overwhelmed here. And coming from these parts of XIMD, it's nostalgic. Last time I was in around after 11 years in the campus, and last time I was here around graduation, and the memories of this room is somewhat around that time and before while we were in exams. So, yeah. So thanks everyone for inviting me here, and I will be giving you some insights and some experiences that I have learned over the period of time, and how we have seen the evolution of marketing in terms of uh, digitally native platforms and how we have been growing, driving growth over the period of time. So, uh, so. Pardon me, my slides are slightly more heavy on text, but I would also try to give some examples during this. So when I talk about the technology-driven shift that has been happening, I'll try to relate with the example. I started one of my primary with formula-based recommendations that we used to give for every customer, and the channels that we used to use were SMS and outbound dialers and all. So from that archaic form of communication, broadly, when I talk about, I would like to set the context that marketing here in two parts. I would like to divide. One is the what I say brand marketing side of the business, where we are creating awareness about the brands and about the companies or products. And there is the another side of the marketing, which is more clubbed into growth marketing, where performance marketing lies, product marketing lies, and I refer to that as growth marketing, as my broader experience has been in the growth marketing side of it. So in growth marketing, how the overall shift in this technology-driven scenario had been over the period of time. I started in 2013, as I told, an idea, and we were using these arcade channels, SMS, outbound dialers. Then the challenges these medias had was too much time taking, the attribution, we couldn't get to know that how the performance has been. And then I moved to Tata Sky, where I was handling a couple of portfolios into sports, high definition and kids channels. And the role was more about the packaging of the channels and how you take those packages to the market. Again, the channels that we had were restricted more towards. So when we go into a DTH platform, there is more on-screen availability, the visibility that you get in terms of channel 100, and there are many other assets that you get on screen. But the traditional channels were also there, which are like SMS, emails, and all. So why I'm telling you all these, this is I have seen this transition where these were the primary channels of communication, and when we want to drive growth, we were relied on SMS, emails, or a call. These days, also a lot of finance companies are using calls as their primary mode of communication. But how it has evolved over the period of time, I was given the role for Tata Sky Mobile app, and then I experienced this for the first time, that how a app-driven platform, how powerful it could be. The challenges that we used to face in Tata Sky was we didn't used to get the data about how what is the consumption pattern of the user. So if you want to target a particular product, we used to see what is their purchase history, and that was the best that we can do, because TVs doesn't used to talk back to us. It's a one-way communication. But when it came to Tata Sky mobile app, we were able to see everything what a user is doing, how much which channels they are watching, how much duration they are watching. It became very easy for me. So let's say if I want to pitch a kids pack to someone, now I know who are all those users who are actually consuming kids content and how much time they are consuming. I also got to know that are they casually consuming it, or are they power users of it, and then we can define our marketing strategies. So this shift is more where we were spraying and praying that we get conversions, and now once this technological shift came, it was more data driven, it was more personalized. What people used to look for, we were able to give them at the right time. So that was a shift that happened. Now I will be focusing in the coming slide more around that. Once a user is acquired, how their post acquisition journey is, and how do we engage and grow revenue over the period of time from these users. Because OTT platforms and entertainment platforms are slightly different from the regular e-commerce platform, where the conversion is considered once a user purchases, it's converted. But for us, we need to engage the user on the platform over a period of time. Once they are engaged and they are aware about the platform, then over a period of time they convert and they take a subscription. So it's slightly different for OTT platforms, and the life cycle of a customer is also slightly different. Now, when we talk about life cycle, MarTech tools and the CLM tools are something which actually help us in doing all these things, where we analyze user usage patterns, we try to personalize things. we try to pitch them the right product. Moving ahead. So what is MARTEC? MARTEC is basically infusion of tools, softwares, and various platforms which helps us to enhance the marketing processes. So when I say marketing processes, it's about which user to be targeted with which offer, right, or which communication. What is the right product for a user? So these tools actually help us in uh, identifying these things that which user, so basically cohortizing it, and then also to help us in the real time how do we engage with these users by identifying their intent on our platform. And once we have done all these things, we can't be keep doing the manual work. So these tools also help us to automate these user flows. So that's where MarTech helps us, and now there have been a lot of MarTech innovations over the period of time. So I'll just give you an overview what kind of MarTech tools are there in the market. So when we talk about data, so we have heard this 100 number of times that data is the new oil, data is gold. Why do we say that? Because data helps us optimize our resources. So if I have 100 bucks to spend, data gives me that power that I know where I will want to put those 100 bucks. If I know there is a user who is not going to convert, no matter what offer I'll give them, I will not spend my bucks on that user. I would want to know which is that user who is going to convert, and that's where the data is going to help us. Data helps us in tracking the viewing patterns when we talk about the OTT platforms, and then personalize whatever we are showing them on the screen. So that we get from the data, and this data comes from a lot of tools which are available right now in the market. And the good thing about the app native platforms is that you can easily integrate all these tools. So, for example, Mixpanel or Google Analytics are fairly well evolved platforms in this space, and they provide a lot of data. When we talk about acquiring users, there are platforms like Aspire and Branch which are helpful in the mobile measurement. So these are called NFP platforms. So if you are doing a lot of digital marketing, performance marketing, you would want to know which channels are working better. And these platforms actually help us to identify where we are putting our bucks and how much we are getting out of it. So this is on the NLP tools, and then the last leg of it, once you have acquired the user, how do you communicate? How do you communicate with them? How do you drive their journey over the platforms? How would you get them to do what you want them to do? So if I want somebody to watch uh, a particular channel at a given time, let's say there's a sports event about to come, and now I want to promote my sports pack. What would be the right time to pitch that app? If somebody is coming on my mobile app and they are trying to play, so I'll give you an example. I'll send you a notification that India has won the toss. Start watching it right now. Now user is going on that channel, and if they are not able to play that channel, which means they are not a subscriber. So they will go back from there. Then I'll send a next notification, which would be about an offer. So it's perfectly timed that the match is about to start, and I have given you an offer, and that's where the conversions increase, and that's how we are using these CLM tools to kind of putting the context at the right time. And these CLM tools also helps us in automation and real-time engagement, which I just spoke about. Along with this, it also helps us to kind of optimize. So every user have a different usage pattern. People use it at different time. In music, a lot of people use it in the morning while they are running. A lot of people use it during their commute. A lot of people use it their leisure time. So when do I engage with these users? CLM tools helps us to identify these optimal timings and channels of communication, and there are also these market tools helps us. Proceeding ahead. So when we talk about market, CLM is one very important tool which helps us in driving the engagement of a user, or I would say driving the so moving users from a various engagement cohorts, and I'll come to what kind of cohorts I'm talking about. But mainly these CLM tools are basically we call it customer life cycle management. They helps us in managing the entire life cycle of a user from installing the app to making them a very engaged user on the these are the life cycles I was talking about. So on a OTT platform or on any app native platform like e-commerce or social media, how a life cycle of a user starts is they install the app, they see either organically or inorganically via any paid channel, they get to know about your app, they download that, and then they become the new user. These users, specifically in the OTT window, they are free tier users till the time they are paid. So unless they subscribe to your plan, they are free users, and most of the users are sitting in this bucket only. So these new users who are just exploring, how do you take them to the next stage? What all things you would be doing to take them to the next stage? Then make them an engaged user. Once these users are engaged, and then categorize them in various levels of engagement. Somebody would be a very casual user, and somebody can be a very high user. You categorize them and then try to make them into a paid user bucket. And once a user is into a paid user bucket, how do you retain them? That's the next problem. That once a user is paid, we want them to remain paid, and that's the beauty of subscription business. It's like a recurring money for businesses, and every business is going into the subscription business because that's the power of it. You keep getting recurring money. So the goal here is guide users throughout their life cycle via tailored interventions in every life, like in every stage of their life cycle, and that's where the market tools and CLM tools are helping us, and in a kind of redefine the entire marketing and shift in the digital marketing. Okay, now I'll one by one take you throughout these life cycle stages and quickly try to give you a sense that how we are doing and how we are moving users across these life cycle stages. So on the stage one, a new user has come on my platform, and I would want to convert these users from a new user to an active user. I would want, specifically talking in terms of the OTT platforms, I would want them to consume content on my platform. So I will be engaging with them, telling them that what is new on my platform, what is good on my platform via various channels. And the beauty of CLM tools is that it's a multi-channel platform where you can communicate the right content, and every channel doesn't work same equally for every user. So you can also optimize that which channel is the preferred channel of a user. So we do send them a welcome series of email, app notifications, in-app notifications, and tell them that what are the strengths of my platform. We highlight the features, and we also give them some samplers like one episode free or some sort of free content so that they can understand that what is available on our platform. Then once the user is they have experienced the platform, and they're also these CLM tools helps us in kind of getting them back again and again on the platform. So we keep sending notifications. You all would be getting very interesting notifications from various platforms. These days, Swiggy, Zomato, and these people are using very quirky, clickbaity notifications. That's just to drive you back on their platform. Maybe you buy or not buy, that's a different thing. But their first motive is to get you back on the platform. So once the user is coming on the platform again and again, the next stage is to make them engaged on the platform. Do whatever you are interested in. So these platforms also gives us the data where we can personalize what you are going to see on the platform. So let's say as soon as you land, the banner on the top that you see or the reels of content that you see, those are all personalized based on your past viewing history. And these tools are helping us to do this personalization, and it's very powerful. It's not random, it's very personalized for you, and that's where the engagement increases, and these people, we try to increase the stickiness on the platform. And this is a very new form of marketing, I would say, because and it's not new in terms of being present in the market, but it's new in terms of the way non-digital native platforms are doing this. The power that data is having here for the digital native platforms is that we get to know so much about the user that we can personalize things for them. We can also predict that what next is that you're going to buy or what next is that you're going to watch. So that's where these market tools are helping us. The other angles of engagement are how do we make them engaged in terms of social, like social sharing, and you would have experience on Spotify. There are watch listening parties. You can make rooms and you can listen together with your friends. So these are the next steps of engagement that a user is doing. For example, if you are able to create in music industry for JioSaavn or Spotify, if a user has made their playlist on your platform, that is the first signal that somebody is giving that they want to remain on the platform. And these are the users who are going to pay you in future. So if I look at how do I decide that which user is going to be a subscriber, and playlist creation is one of the biggest signal for that. So these are the things which tells us that a user is engaged on the platform. And then once I understand that the user is engaged and they have done all these things, the next step is pitch them the offer. So sometimes it starts in the first stage of their journey when they are a new user. We give them onboarding offers, like we give them a free trial. But once the user is there on the platform, based on their engagement, their offer keeps changing. So and that's where these new marketing tools helps us. As I said, if I have 100 bucks, I want to spend it on someone who is going to pay me. And CLM tools are helping us identifying those users. So, for example, if I want to, instead of giving a flat 20% off to everyone on my platform, I would want to understand which user might convert even without an offer. Why should I give them an offer if he's a high intent user? I shouldn't be giving them an offer. And there might be a user, if you give them a 10% off, they might not convert, but if you give them a 30% off, they will convert. So these are kind of situations where CLM tools are helping us identifying these users and optimizing our offerings. Also, while a user is highly engaged on the platform, at that moment, if you're going to pitch them an offer, that is the right time to convert, and that is also where these tools are helping us. So, in bringing it all together, how MarTech and CLM is converging everything together, and how it is helping us is that it gathers the user information, it helps us in defining cohorts, and helps us in guide the initiatives for the user. And what is the outcome of all this is we are able to do precise targeting. We are able to communicate with the user what we want to communicate, and also it's giving us actionable insights that right communication at the right time. As I gave the example of sports, if you are going to pitch a sports fact when they need it the most, that is the time you get the highest conversions. Plus, CLM and MarTech tools are helping us nudge users to the next step of their life cycle when they are coming from new user to an engaged user to a paid user and then a retained loyal user. These tools also helps us in quick experimentation and course correction, where we can experiment a lot of things. How do I decide that whether a 11 rupees pack is good for a new user, or a free trial is good for a new user, or a 29 rupees pack is good for a new user? We do experiments. We do a lot of experiments, and whatever gives us the highest returns, we take that ahead, and that's all thanks to the CLM tools. And it helps us in maximizing conversions and retention. So how this entire market domain and this shift in the marketing towards the digital is going to evolve, and it's already a lot evolved, and a lot of this is already happening. But as everything is evolving, and this marketing domain and predictive analytics and AI also coming in the picture, things are going to become better. So predictive analytics, we are currently working on things where we can predict that which user is going to be a subscriber. We call it likelihood to subscribe. If a user is going to be a subscriber, I might not be giving them an offer. And if the user is showing a very low intent of becoming a subscriber, I might be degrading their experience on my platform. If your experience is degraded, you wouldn't be burning my streams, and you wouldn't be if you are if I'm degrading your experience, if you want to listen to music, you would go a subscription plan. Similarly, likelihood to churn, if I am able to predict that which user is about to churn, I can optimize my offers for such users. And AI is also taking in content creation. So these these are the next things that you're going to see in the CLM space.
Am I audible now? Yes. Thank you so much, and thank you for the warm welcome. I actually just remember a day when I was one of you folks who sat in one of the tables on those chairs. So it's fine, and I get what's possibly going in your head as well. What I will try to do in my session is try to cover how tech, specifically AI, is helping organizations transform their marketing workflows and drive operational efficiencies and growth for business and business outcomes. But before I get to the boring part, let me start off with a story of Zambia. There was a aid organization in Italy which once said, let's go to Zambia and teach the people of Zambia how to grow food. Imagine Europeans teaching Africans how to grow food. Paradox, right? But however, they said and they went down to the southern part of Zambia, down to the Baby River, found out a lush green valley, and they were amazed to see there was no vegetation, there was no one who was doing agriculture, there was no one who was growing food. Amazed as they might be, or how they would be, but they never asked anybody on why were they not growing food. And of course, the Zambians were not interested in growing food because they were just not feeling so. And then the Italians exclaimed, thank God, we are here just in the nick of time to save the people of Zambia from starvation. And they started to grow whatever fruits, vegetables they could. And because Africa being Africa, what vegetation happened? Ripe tomatoes, ripe carrots, ripe brinjals. And again they exclaimed, look how easy agriculture is. And no one was surprised. None of the Zambians were surprised, none of the Italians were surprised. But one overnight, just before they had to cultivate the entire harvest, there were about 200 hippos that came out of the river. They had everything that was possibly there. The Italians exclaimed, Oh my God, the hippos. The Zambians explain, yes, the hippos, and hence we have got to know agriculture here. I hope I have your attention now, and I'll leave this thought with you before I get on to the next part of the session. Taking body part analogous to an organization, what part of the human body do you think marketing is? Can I have the mic, please? Two answers, please. Which body part and why? Okay, there is no right and wrong answer, here, by the way. And there is no textbook, so Amritsar or KDC ma'am is not going to scold me. One here, please. Two answers, we don't have much time. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. My name is and we came back from 2026. I feel that it is brain and heart.
Okay. Why? This was
Human brain works in the most mysterious way, and even the brain doesn't know why it works. And as a marketer, we are trying to tap into that part which is ambiguous and pleasant. Yeah. And about heart, uh, humans are meant to be emotional in certain degree, and if a brand tries to connect on that emotional front, it tends to be more connected to their hearts in order to build a strong trust.
absolutely. That one. Okay. Anyone else? One more, please. Can we get
Very good morning, sir. My name is
We'll take it.
My name is from XIM in batch of 24-26. I would like to relate marketing to the voice or my mouth because marketing helps us convey the message to the consumers, and my mouth also helps me do the same.
Communications. Got it. Sure. Can you please have a mic for the lady here?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Yukta Katra from XIM in batch of 24-26. So my answer goes for heart, like more of a brain, I can consider it as heart because at the end, if the brand does an emotional marketing in sort of sense, so emotions is what we connect at the end.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. All three of you are right. There is no, as I said, there is no right and wrong answer. This is my personal belief. I believe that marketing in an organization is the brain of the organization. And why do I believe that? First, as you all have said in so many words, because it needs to understand the customer the best. And because the customer is at the core of the organization, that's point number one. Point number two, because marketing is the cost center and it's the biggest cost center for an organization, it needs to understand finances well. So anyone who says marketing does not need to understand finance, rub it off. You will need to understand finance one day. Third, because it needs to understand how to keep improving, how does it impact the long-term vision and strategy of an organization, you need to understand strategy. Finally, without kick-ass operations, you can never have a good campaign, and hence you need to understand the ops of an organization. Hence, I say it is the brain of any organization. Coming to the core, which is the customer, what better way to talk about a customer than a customer journey? Now, this might be slightly theoretical, but again, two answers, please. What do you guys believe is the customer journey? Nobody will again scold you. Please, two answers. What is the customer journey?
Good morning, sir. Sir, I am Aman Daya from XIM MBA batch of 24-26. Sir, I believe customer journey is the journey of a customer from introduction of an app to its end of its using. It includes all from introduction of app to its conversion of app and then when he ends his subscription of the app.
Okay, absolutely, you are right. Anyone more, please? One more to the gentleman, please. Okay, we'll also take you. Okay.
Good morning, sir. I'm Ravsingh from Assembly MBA batch of 24-26. I think the customer journey basically involves the customer seeing the ad or seeing the marketed ad and then being attracted to it, then purchasing the product and trying it out for himself or herself, and then determining whether the product suits my needs or not, and if not, be switching to the next product, then that's so.
Can we have one here, please?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Sir, I agree with both of the points that customer journey basically starts when the customer first hears about the product, whether see it on a social media platform or maybe through traditional marketing channel, to the way when he actually purchases that product. There are a lot of steps in between which constitutes a customer journey, and we also call it the ADA model also.
Absolutely. Thank you for the theoretical answer, but yeah, you are 100% right.
Thank you.
Just one thing. Customer journey is nothing more than a sequence of steps taken by customers from thinking that they need a category to getting known about the product that they want to buy, evaluate among the options that they get to finally make a purchase. Let's go through a slightly more detailed customer journey. Let's meet Jane, who's anyone like you sitting here trying to take on the world, getting into college. And when she wants to get into college, she thinks a laptop is possibly going to help her augment her education. What would you do? You will possibly go to Google. It's not the only one, but it's a possibility that you are going to go to Google, punch in best laptop under 80,000 for post-graduation or for MBA. What will Google do? Google is going to give you some 100 plus results. What will happen to you? You are going to start comparing what you get. Because of the paradox of choice, there will be so many options for you to choose from, you are going to get confused. What happens when we get confused? We postpone because we don't want to take any money decision in a list. And that's what Jane did. Jane started to get all confused about the product and she left it. But what do we marketers do? We take help from everybody, from everyone, and start pushing advertising to Jane. Laptop in the morning on JioSaavn, laptop in the afternoon somewhere else, and laptop in the night on Snapchat. Ensuring that we have Jane got all covered. But Jane was a good person and she said, let me give HP another chance. Let's see if I can buy something. But this time she goes on e-commerce, looks at my ratings and reviews, figures what's good, what's not good. Shortlists 5 of them, finally goes to, but she feels that she needs to get some more experience, touch and feel experience, goes to one of my stores. And finally, the warm-bodied in-store representative who's there is able to help Jane to zero in on the right product and she is able to make a purchase. That is a typical detailed customer journey on how it follows. While this was happening with Jane, what was happening in the IDA model, what was happening behind the scenes for the marketers. I'm sure every one of you has seen this model. Marketing funnel, top funnel, middle funnel, lower funnel, right? There is nothing rocket here. In top funnel, what we try to do is to create demand for a product. How? We try to create the brand which is memorable. There are a bunch of tactics that we deploy: video, PR, social, and personalization. What Arpit also spoke about, that how can personalization increase the CLM? At HP, what we are trying to do is, how can we ensure personalization can get you more new customers? How can it ensure that the brand becomes more memorable? In fact, we are trying to take the next step also with personalization, which is segment of one. Instead of having a cohort which looks homogeneous, we are trying to create one specific segment from those cohorts. This would be something like a friend sitting near you who knows you so well, is able to tailor make their efforts, their experience, their product information to you that feels just right for yourself. And that is how the shift in marketing is happening from a cohort based personalization to a segment of one personalization. How is it happening? That is where AI comes into the picture. What we typically use is something called DCO, which is dynamic creative optimization, which is rule based and has a lot of manual work to it. With GenAI, the advantage that we are getting out of it is we are able to increase the performance by lowering the cost. That is how AI in workflow in top funnel helps us drive incremental results. Coming to the next part, which is the middle funnel. Here, if you go back to the Jane example, this is where she was trying to evaluate the multiple brands, multiple products that she had to figure out which is the right product for her. Again, a bunch of tactics that we can deploy. We are going to talk about content marketing. Today, with the democratization of knowledge and with the amount of data which is out there, and on multiple platforms that's out there, there is no dearth of knowledge that data that anybody can consume from anywhere. Right? Like we saw for Jane, because of so many options to choose from, she got confused, she postponed her purchase. This typical scenario where a customer enters into the funnel but does not come out buying any brand in that category is what we call as a messy middle. Wherein you think about buying, you have an intent of buying, but because of we making it so confusing for him or her, they don't end up buying. To give you an example, today only for gaming laptops for gaming in India, there are about 1 million searches happening every month. That's about 10 lakh searches. Now imagine the places where these customers would land. Imagine the kind of searches that they would be giving. It can be gaming for PUBG, it can be gaming for Valorant, it can be gaming for against Lenovo, against a Dell, it can be gaming at a price point, it can be anything. This creates a situation which we call as a long tail of keyword. A long tail of keyword is where the volumes are less, but there are a lot of search volumes that's happening. And because we are a resource constrained world, obviously we can't keep creating content for everything that we want to push out for. Right? It is not humanly possible. It is not budgetly possible because we all have got our hands constrained out there. So what do we do and how does AI again help us here? But before I go there, any one of you who has not heard about ChatGPT yet or hasn't tried their hands on? Thank God. I thought you guys might be living under the rock, which you can't because you can't sleep. So how do we use AI here? First, to identify those keywords and where are those keywords leading to, we use a tool called BuzzSumo. It helps me identify the topics, it helps me identify the keywords, it helps me identify the platform where I can go and post my content, which is HP centric, brand centric, product centric, whatever in the world that I want to. But even after doing that, even after identification, I need to figure out what to write, right? And that is where my growth constraint or my growth limiting factor is. What at HP we have done is we have tried to create a tool on top of ChatGPT, which means we have trained the ChatGPT on our HP content, HP product, HP brand. Anytime that my marketer needs to create a content for any of those platforms or any of those 10 million searches that are happening, all they have to do is to go to that tool, use it and generate content. That generates content in seconds. So you might call it HP ChatGPT, but that is how AI is helping us in the middle funnel of the marketing campaign. Third part, the lower funnel. Here what do we do? This is essentially the place where a customer makes the purchase of the product, right? And that too, broadly to offline or online. We'll talk about the offline first. Going back to the example of Jane, what we do is, whoever Jane is out there, we try to capture her lead on Google through our lead management system. We transfer it to the nearest HP World store that's there, where we have a warm body in-store representative to help her assist her make the right purchase choice. HP sells about 180 SKUs in India. What will the ISP, the in-store representative, again ask me? Sir, please give me the content for all these 180 SKUs. That content keeps changing. How do I generate content? I again go back to the HP chat GPT that I showed you in the last slide. What does it do for me? A, I am able to solve for the growth constraint that's there at my offline store and give the right content out to my ISP so that he is able to talk to Jane about what she wants and how she can purchase it. Second, e-commerce. Here again, a Jane would go, she is going to punch in whatever she wants, and this keeps changing. As marketers, we constantly try to look at what is the customer searching for. How typically e-commerce works is that whatever gets searched needs to be there in the product page of that particular product, and then only it's going to come up organically. For that, it means I again need to create content that can be pushed to my e-commerce pages. Again, what do I need to do? I need to keep refreshing my content. Where do I again go? My HP activity, which I showed you. So, if you see what we try to do here, and why did I talk to you about only this particular example in detail? Across the three stages of the funnel, what we identified was, what we did was, we tried to look for a common theme. We try to look for a common problem that's there across my funnel stage. And we created a silver bullet that can solve for all the stages at one go. In my experience, what I have often seen, and I want to leave you guys with this thought is, individuals which are most successful in corporate are able to take a step back, identify a problem, many issues, bind them together, create a silver bullet that can take care, that can solve for the organization at multiple stages. My piece of advice to you guys is always look for that silver bullet in your life. That's how compounding growth for individuals come on the back of growth for the organization. Coming back to the story of Zambia from where we all started, when you get into corporate, look for pockets of operational efficiency. Look for the pockets of growth. Remember, you know your subject the best. You know your land the best. Be the owner of your land. Ensure that no one knows your land the best, and that's how drive compounding growth for yourself and for your organization. Thank you guys. That was all from me.
Hello. Thank you, sir, for an interactive session on how we should balance understanding the customer, the cost input, the long-term goals of the business, and the operations for delivering the most optimal results. Now, I would like to say that Mr. Satyendra Mishra boasts an illustrious career of more than 14 years in the fields of marketing, where he currently leads as a senior director at Bloomberg. He leads complex projects that nurture internal and external partnerships in the field of advertising services. He possesses a strong storytelling acumen which empowers clients to achieve their communication objectives. His past accolades include his work as a National Solutions Manager, Language TV at Reliance Broadcast Network Limited, where he handled brand solutions for three channels of Reliance Broadcast: Big Magic, Big RTL Film, Big CBS Park Punjabi, ideated, planned, and implemented effective media campaigns to help clients attain their business objectives, and led the creative services team to script and produce co-branded promos, graphical innovations, and show integrations.
thanks Andy for getting us back in this campus, especially this auditorium. I've been over here many years back. I know attendance was mandatory then. Still persists. But yeah, always great. It's a great feeling to be back on campus. So, digitizing growth technology driven units are not the things. Quite handful, right? So let's break it down. Let's break it and make a story out of it. Renaissance. We all know about Renaissance, right? Anyone wants to know about it? Yeah. Rebirth, right? Great movement in Europe which absolutely brought about the new values that we live in this world right now. Whether it's democracy, philanthropy, arts, music, all of it, revival. So where did it start? Very unlikely start. This guy started it. How? His name is Neman. Uh, he once had a dream. He was part of the Turkish tribe which used to live in Turkey and parts of Turkey, and then he had a dream that he's conquering Constantinople. Constantinople was a epicenter of civilization. The Holy Roman Empire, the Eastern Holy Roman Empire, was based out of Constantinople, and it was one of those cities which could never be won because it was a walled city surrounded with water. But he had a dream, and he won it. He did. He conquered it after much fight. What happened then was all the scholars, all the artists, all the musicians who used to live in Constantinople decided that we don't like him. He's like a conqueror, large population. So they all left. They went to Europe. And what happened from there was Europe had the resurgence of art and culture, the thinking, the philosophy. So everything changed from an unlikely start. The same starts begins with over here in marketing as well. No one knew that Meta or Snapchat or YouTube were actually started for devices to actually create advertising at the end of the day. But yes, today, genuine growth is completely through digital, right? And that's what we're going to talk about. But why did I tell you this story? That's what I do. I do stories, I tell stories for a living. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for many years. And what kind of stories do I tell? I help brands tell their stories to grow stronger connect with their audiences, with their robots, whether it's brands. I help in driving purpose. When I say purpose, it's about the good work that the world really needs on issues which is humanitarian and other behavior issues which is going to be there. I'm going to deep dive into it a little bit. And I have communities and governments to reach out to their citizens better, to help them. So we're going to start with some brands. Okay, how do we help brands to grow, connect with audiences? No, my entire presentation today is all going to be visual, films and audios, and that's it. It's going to be. You know these guys, right? On the tree. Yeah. So this is for one of the this is for milk babies. This is a brand that we've been working for quite some time. And one of the things that milk babies was facing was it was eroding a lot of market share across in rural and smaller towns of India. And mostly in the media dark, while you might have the YouTube, the Snapchat, you all the mediums available to a large set of audiences, but there are still media dark areas that we need to reach out to. So what do we do? So we look at the device which is there in hand. So why don't we create stories which our beloved Pankaj Tripathi can say to different sets of audiences across the country? How do we do it? How do I put Pankaj Tripathi in a recording studio and make him speak more and more number of times, making different calls and getting it all done? And that's where Gen AI came into picture. So what I'm going to play with you are two samples. One of them is actually, oh, we don't have it. Guys, can someone look at the audio video? what is
वाराणसी को नमस्कार। मैं पंकज त्रिपाठी, पापा त्रिपाठी बोल रहा हूँ। ना पंकज ना बाबा, जहाँ काम आए बस पापा। वो क्या है? बच्चों की परवरिश। अपने बच्चों की परवरिश में पापा त्रिपाठी को थोड़ी भारी मदद मिलती है। ब्रिटानिया मिल्क कुकीज आटा बिस्कुट से, इसमें है दूध और आटा, साथ ही डुबो के खाने वाली मस्ती। परवरिश में जरूरत है दोनों की। इस पर और बात करते हैं अगली कॉल पर।
So we made a series of calls to the audiences by ensuring that, talking to them about important things of nutrition and how does it help in parenting. But like I said, the challenge was how do I make sure that it's done for a large set of audiences and we don't spend fundless time over it. So what we did was
इलाहाबाद को पापा त्रिपाठी का प्रणाम। पापा त्रिपाठी का किरदार हमारा फेवरेट है, इसे मैं रोज निभाता हूँ। पापा त्रिपाठी तो कभी कड़क मास्टर जी, तो कभी ब्रिटानिया मिल्क कुकीज आटा बिस्कुट से पहला फुसला कर बच्चों का सबसे करीबी दोस्त, दोनों किरदार निभाना पड़ता है, क्योंकि परवरिश में योग के साथ संयोग भी लगता है। और बताएंगे परवरिश पे अगली कॉल पर।
So what we did in this case, can you check which one is actually the original his voice and which is the generated voice? Varanasi or Allahabad? Okay, thank you, yes. How many Varanasis? How many Allahabad? Okay, sorry to disappoint. Both of them are Chennai. He never came to the studio. We just picked his voice from different, assets that we have, but we had to do a lot of customization. So someone had to actually go and bring in the nuances of the twang that is there. अगर आप देखेंगे वहाँ पर प्रणाम किस तरह से किया जाता है और नमस्कार किस तरह से किया जाता है, there's a difference, and that's what India is all about, right? Every 60 kilometers, the language changes. So to bring in that nuances, we actually got someone to record it in the local studios, and then Jaya kind of implemented it such a way that we got the complex voice and actually made it in this tone. I think this can be done in voice. Let's look at what we can do on video.
Big businesses and brands that suffered during the pandemic found their way back, but the smaller stores still suffer.
This lockdown has been a real tough phase of my life. I mean, I have seen bad days, but this was the worst.
Last year we helped small businesses through Diwali, so this year we decided to bring it back. Presenting not just a Cadbury ad. This Diwali, we helped hundreds of small businesses by making India's biggest brand ambassador be their brand ambassador.
इस दिवाली आपने अपने पास वाले फैशन और एम्पोरियम से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना और फिर एम्पायर फुटवेयर, नाम तो सुना होगा, अपना स्टाइलिश चश्मा बगल वाले हेवन आई ऑपरेशन से ही सिद्धि विनायक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स से लेटेस्ट स्मार्टफोन खरीद कर धमाकेदार सेल्फी पोस्ट करना।
क्या कर रहे हो? मीठा लाए कि नहीं?
आया वाला यार, अपने पास वाले रोशन के गाना से आप भी अपना वीडियो वहीं से
We used machine learning to recreate Shah Rukh Khan's face and voice to take the local store names in the ads.
इस दिवाली आप भी अपने पास वाली चॉइस ऑफ फैशन से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करें। पास वाले आजकल फैशन से ही, रॉयल फैशन से ही, एनके क्लॉथ से ही, पास वाली लक्ष्मी कलेक्शन से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करें। इस दिवाली आप
Different versions of the same ad with local store names were targeted as per the PIN code of the viewer, showing them only the nearby stores. But it is impossible to cover all the stores. So we gave the power to the people to create their own version of not just a Cadbury ad. Any small business owner could promote their stores through their own social media networks like WhatsApp forwards and other social media pages.
हमारे आसपास की जो दुकानें हैं उनकी दिवाली भी तो मीठी होनी चाहिए।
Cadbury said, big business.
Okay, so it's not and this was 2 years ago. Guess what's happening right? So recently we did a campaign with during the IPL, and I'm not able to talk about it because some of it is still happening. But we're doing a campaign with Ravi Shastri. So over there, we literally create an avatar, right, of him. And it's not only tonality or the way that he speaks, it's also the way, Ravi Shastri's entire imagery and character is. And we called it Golmaal. So you would ask him any Golmaal question and he would give you an answer. And there's so much of nuances that were built in that, Ravi Shastri is famous for a lot of other reasons as well. So he was asked, like, इसने पूछ के उसको सर आज कितना? Straight from the back, that's how wonderful using these tools and the new AI tools that they able to create and tell stories differently. Gone are those days where film could actually make a difference. A film stays in people's mind for a little while and it goes away. But once you experience it in such a way, which is new, which is nuanced, which is something that creates a difference, it stays on our mind. And that's what we do. That's what we help brand to create, connect with audiences. But how do we help purpose? And this is honestly the most satisfactory word that I've been of helping purpose. What does purpose mean? Purpose essentially means there are a lot of issues in this world, right? Malnutrition is an issue. Sexual and reproductive health is an issue. Child's mental health, all these issues which is there. How do we tackle that? How do we take marketing and actually help answer these problems? So what we've done is we've taken the knowledge of marketing and advertising that we have and we're helping addressing some of these issues which is there. And I'm going to give a glance of some of the work that we have done so far and the recent work that I've done and one of the good works that we've done. Sexual and reproductive health. Very close to my heart, something that I've been working for around 6 to 7 years now. We have a humongous gap. Anyone who has ever been to a gynecologist and everyone knows that the first question the doctor asks is, are you married? Why does it should bother you? It shouldn't bother you. And that's what the gap is, young people are moved ahead. The service providers or the healthcare providers is still lagging behind. Audiences are moved ahead. Sometimes the brand lag behind. So what do we do? How do we create an answer? How do we create and how do we bring all these stakeholders to help each other, drive businesses, better their services, and then start so we created something called Udan Collaborative. Now this is a very, very interesting project. It was a campaign, but it became a shape of a startup itself. So we got seed funding from the US government, from USA, and we started this initiative which is called Go to Run.com. It's a one shop for everything that you wanted to know about sexual and reproductive health, but there are very few ones. But if you have to do it, you have to do it across from us. And we have to create a self-sustaining model. So we looked at Amazon. Okay, so Amazon, they have videos, right? So if more and more consumers come in and more people spend time on your platform, and you could be able to sell your products. And okay, in case you need to be getting it delivered, you have all your systems, so they have all your backend and everything. And the technology. So we thought that let's learn from them and create the Amazon of FTRH. So we created this model which essentially creates information, services, discover your services. When I say services, it's like all the doctors that are there who can offer their services. Chemists, pharmacists who are there will be able to cater to them. And making every one of them in the service world youth friendly. And we launched a platform which was gotorun.com. So we matched out 100%. And Bhubaneswar was one of the cities that we started our work from. And we started something called gotorun.com. And it's been active and it's across in 23 language options. And this was also, something which is supported with AI. There's a great program in this which is called Ashmi AI, which essentially helps us in different languages, Indian languages. So it can reach up to maximizing the reach of such a platform. What we're planning to do and what we are doing is currently we are in midst of a digital campaign which is active. We want to translate the entire domain of sexual reproductive health in many ways through the single platform by ensuring that providers, which is doctors, organizations and brands which want to cater to the audiences and young people who need to access information and services get to be on this platform. In fact, we're thinking of providing short-term financial loans to be able to cater to those products, to be able to, for audiences to be able to buy it. Yeah, a lot of people are interested in it. It's happening. So that's what we do for purpose. Similarly, we work for Unilever, we work for multiple brands, where I think growth story comes from when every single brand has a strong purpose, the reason to be there, and reason to make a difference in people's life. So, the third part of the last point, which is how do we help communities and governments? Some bits of it I can't talk about, but this is something which is slightly old, but this is something which was very interesting. So you have a large challenge which was there during COVID, right? Remember COVID? That time back. So we all wanted to ensure that the entire populace, we knew that hand washing was the best way, wearing a mask was the best way, keeping distance was the best way, cleaning surfaces was the best way to actually avoid COVID. But how do we do that? How do we actually engage more and more people to be able to reach out? And we need to act fast, right? And that's what we took up. We took up a project which was supported by the UK and Unilever, which essentially reached out to multiple countries, around 28 odd countries, including Zambia, and with different organizations and NGOs working from there, and gave them simple modules of behavior change, things that they could implement at the ground level, digitize and non-digitize content in a span of little span of like 1 or 2 months. To be working with, I work on languages which I've never heard of before. Is supposedly language which is spoken by some thousands of people across in Africa. Very interesting. And to find people who have this language, who will be able to tell you in the languages, in localized languages, and to be able to deploy it. So, massive piece that we delivered across in 4 continents, working across in 40 countries, the 2 phases. The most interesting thing was I, in my lifetime, had never done a campaign which reached 1.9 billion people. And that's the power of using technology and digitization to be able to grow your messages and reach out to maximum audiences. So, thank you. That's all.
Thank you, sir, for an absolute masterclass in storytelling with purpose and on how AI is impacting it. Finally, I would like to invite Mr. Gaurav Ghosh with over 11 years of experience exhibiting a noteworthy career in the field of growth management, where he had worked for prestigious brands like Marico, Hotstar, Amazon, and Snapchat, holding key roles and responsibilities. He is a proud alum of XIM from the batch of 2011 to 13. His leadership spans in design thinking, A/B testing, strategic thinking, marketing analytics, customer journey mapping, data management, product innovation, product management, and launches. He achieved incredible feat during his stint at Hotstar, where he drove 6 times growth in subscribers as a part of growth team and led the AVOD to SVOD acquisition charter across a diverse set of growth programs.
Hi everybody. That was quite the elevator pitch. Couldn't have thought better about myself.